Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to another card making video. Today I am going to be featuring the large die of the month from Spellbinders for December 2021. This is a holiday card video, but these dies don't have to be for the holidays, and I love that. They can be used year-round. This is the stitch layered background die set. There are 6 dies in this set. They measure approximately 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. Here is the most detailed die, and then one that it can layer upon, and then the stitched panel, which can be done by itself, so you can repeatedly die cut it on a larger piece or die cut it out with the rectangle. And it's easiest if you do these two at the same time versus trying to die cut it out after. There's also 2 border strips, and those also can be layered on top of each other. So let me show you what the layering looks like. You're going to put the stitched panel on the bottom. You'll put this least detailed layer on top of that, and then the most detailed layer will go on top of that. It's a really cool look, and I'm going to use this all white panel on my card today. And then these 2 pieces can also be layered up for, it's like a 3D kind of look. It's very cool. All right, so I have cut out a panel that's 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, but you could also die cut it out with that die, and this is what I'm going to layer behind my white panel. Now I am not going to stitch this one because you can very easily use this die set without doing any stitching, so that's really cool. But if you're into stitching, I have a card for that today too. All right, so I am layering on that least detailed layer next, and it's going to frame out those diamond shapes, and I love the pop of red showing through. And now the most detailed layer goes on top of that. Thank you very much to Barely Art Glue for the best precision tip for gluing. At least the best that I own. I love this glue. It works really great for this. If it seeps out, it dries with a matte finish and it is not sticky. I had a little leftover piece of die there I picked up with some tape. Now I have this Christmas Traditions paper pad that I'm going to use for my backgrounds. I pulled out this green piece, cut it down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and now I am going to stamp this sentiment on here from this cute little Christmas sentiment set from Spellbinders, and I'm going to stamp this in the bottom right-hand corner of my card front panel. I will use Moss ink from Altenew. This is a darker green than my paper, but even so, when I'm stamping tone on tone, like green on green, I like to stamp it 2 times with my MISTI to make sure that it's really dark, and also ink will dry back a tiny bit lighter, so thank you also to the MISTI for making my life easier. Don't you love all the crafty tools that we have, like that pressure tool? I'm loving that thing. Okay, so now I'm gluing this down to my A2 size card base. Next, I can glue on this panel. Remember, it's 4 1/4 inches wide, so it's going to fit perfectly across my A2 size card. I'm going to put that, approximately in the center, and then I have some gold strips of cardstock that are about 1/4 of an inch wide, and I'm going to glue one at the top and one at the bottom. I like to cut these longer than I need so I can trim them off and they're flush with the edge of the card. There we have it. Looking good. Next, I am bringing out this Christmas foliage Glimmer hot foil set and some aura foil to create the accents for my card. I'm using my quick trimmer to cut this hot foil. This is my favorite hot foil. It's gold with like a touch of aura or iridescent to it, and it's just beautiful. So I love using this. I use it a lot, and I'm going to be foiling on colored cardstock, so I can use this one color of foil on all my colors of cardstock, and it's going to look great on today's card. So you can see I have my foil pretty side up on my cardstock, and then I'm going to put my Glimmer hot foil face down onto that. I like to tape it in place so it doesn't move around, and I'm going to get all the other pieces that I'm going to hot foil ready while my Glimmer hot foil system is heating up there on my right hand side. I'm going to Glimmer hot foil the leaf from this on the same pattern paper as my background so that the green will totally match my card. I love matchy matchy. So that one's ready, and then there is like a pine branch in this particular hot foil set, and I'm going to do that on a darker green that complements that patterned paper. Once the machine is heated up, there's a little green light that tells me it's ready, and I'm going to put all these pieces face down onto that hot foil system. Press the timer, and then I'm adding my spacer pads, including a shim, which is that orange piece. Next, when the timer goes off, I pull back that platform using my thumbs to kind of stabilize it on top, and then I can roll it slowly through my die cutting machine, and the heat and the pressure are going to transfer that hot foil onto the cardstock. Next, I have a little tool here. It comes with the Glimmer hot foil system that's magnetic. I can use to pick up those hot pieces. Also, because I use the tape, I can use the tape to peel off those hot dies, because sometimes I'm just too impatient to wait for them to cool down. But you could wait for them to cool down. You can totally do that. All right, so here you can see the reveal of these hot foiled images, and they're just gorgeous, and it was pretty easy to do. Really not any hard work at all, and the image is like tiny bit pressed into the paper, and that foil is so shimmery. Like when you turn it in the light, you really catch the light and get these bright flashes. It's just really cool. So there's the pieces die cut out. When you're die cutting foiled images, be careful not to get your tape onto the image, or it could dull out the foil when you remove that tape. So I just try to stick it to the die alone. Next, I'm going to glue all of these pieces together, and I'm using my card as a reference so I can make sure I get it glued where I want it to be. It's not going to cover anything up or, you know, maybe look weird. So there we have it. I kept the berry part just like it is, but there's also a tiny die in this set that cuts out circles. You could fill in those berries or even put them in the center of the poinsettia, which now that I'm saying this to you makes me want to go back and die cut some gold little circles to put in the middle of my poinsettia. I'll probably do that. You'll never see it because I've already finished this video, but it would look really cute there. So you have that option. Now these are all glued together, and I'm going to stick this down because it's on a bumpy surface with some foam squares, and the foam squares are really going to help hold this together. There's a lot of overlapping pieces there in the back, so those are going to kind of help secure that as well as keep it nice and secure to that bumpy surface. So to finish off this card, I'm going to add some Color Essential gems in gold around the poinsettia. Like, embellishment is the key, right, to cute cards. Like, that just puts it over the top. I've got my shimmer and glimmer and shine in this card. I have texture, I have pattern. Oh, I love cards that have so much variety like that. So there is my first card. Now let's do some stitching. I really just stitched this first diamond to show you how to stitch this. And I really thought I wasn't going to make a stitch card, but I'm telling you, the stitching is so much fun. Like, I really enjoy the stitching. It does take a little bit of time, so you know, I just put on some YouTube videos and did some stitching, and I really enjoy this process. Now, it's really easy, so you could really do this with a child, maybe not a super young child, but your kids would enjoy doing this. And there, you just go around. It's not a circle, but you go around the diamond, go up from the back, down the middle, up from the back, down the middle every time. It's really an easy one to do, and you could play with different colors of thread, different colors of cardstock, and really just have fun with this. And it does layer with the other dies when it's stitched, so that is really cool too. Now, when I stitched all of these up in red, I thought, this is reminding me of a Christmas sweater. So I did some stitching connecting those diamonds together with some green thread, and then I did some stitching the other way just to kind of give it a little bit of a fun, crazy Christmas sweater feel. And then I used another red pattern from this paper pack to do the background for this card. Now I'm just kind of laying everything out where I want it to go, and I have another Glimmer hot foil set that has some Christmas sentiments in it. I don't even remember the name of it, but I'm going to look it up and link it for you below if it's still available. But you should know at Spellbinders, they have a ton of these skinny strips of sentiments that you can hot foil on your cards. Just a ton, and it's my favorite thing to hot foil, really, are these skinny strips. Adding a Glimmer hot foiled sentiment to a card just kind of makes it special. So there's a lot of those, so check them out. Next, I'm just trimming this down and putting it on my hot foil system, and there you have the sentiments. I hope you saw how I hinged the sentiment, just taped it at the top, lifted it up, and put the foil underneath. Now these border strips look great glued on top of each other, but you could offset it and get a little argyle look too. I felt it was a little bit too busy as argyle for this card, but it's another option for this die set that's going to add something different to your card. Okay, we're gluing that in place. I'm putting one just below and one just above that stitched pattern. And I think it does kind of look like a crazy Christmas sweater, and I think it's really fun. So it says jingle all the way at the top and fa la 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 at the bottom. I'm gluing that onto my A2 size card, and then of course embellishment. I'm putting a red gem in the center of each of those red stitched diamonds, and it really brings it to life. It really is that little extra something that it needed to be a crazy Christmas sweater. It's one of those crazy Christmas sweaters that you don't mind wearing. That's what I think. I would wear this to a Christmas party. Yeah. And then I added 3 more gems on the outer edge to complete the look. And those are the 2 cards I made to show you the different ways you can use this large die of the month. But picture these dies used with anything. You could use any flower and make this a birthday card, a sympathy card. You really don't have to use this just for Christmas. It's not indicated for Christmas in any way, but because of the type of pattern it is, you can use it for anything. I love that so much. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions about the Spellbinder kits of the month, let me know. I'm going to have them linked for you below. There are more than just dies. They have Glimmer Hot Foil Kit of the Month, they have Stamp of the Month, they have a card kit, so many fun things. So be sure to check out the Spellbinders website if you have yet to shop there. And I will see you all again very soon with the Glimmer Kit of the Month, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you then. Happy stamping! Bye!